I'm no engineer, so being able to change things around a little bit and just buy a couple more pieces of pipe to fix changing needs is a pretty ideal situation for us.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for joining me and your interest in Maker Pipe. I understand that your company is macadons.com, right?
Correct.
I got the website pulled up. Nice looking website, but tell me a little bit about Macadons.
So we make macaroons, and we also make ice cream. And we combine the two and make ice cream filled macaroons, which is a third product line. But we have two retail locations right now. The website you're looking at is for our main White Center retail location. We have actually split off from them a little bit. They're kind of doing their own thing, and we are mostly working on wholesale, but we're working on opening a couple of our own retail locations as well.
Nice. Well, congratulations. I was just having a conversation with my wife, wondering what a macaroon actually was. Can you school me on just the the dessert at all, in a nutshell?
Sure. So the common misconception is the combination of macaroons and macarons. Macaroons are the coconut chocolate covered dessert. We are macarons, it's an almond flour cookie shell basically that is made into a batter, piped out, baked, dried, and then you take two of those and sandwich a buttercream filling in between the two of them. And
Okay.
ours specifically are Asian inspired flavors. We also have as you see right there, we have a full color food ink printer, which is actually sitting right there.
Oh, wow.
And that just prints out ink, whatever kind of design we want, be it a pun set of birthday puns, or I have a buddy of mine is trolling all of his coworkers, and so he got his face
Oh, that's
printed
cool.
on. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Nice. Yeah, I see custom orders, and you can probably do those printing custom, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, cool. Thanks for the education. I didn't know it was almond flour, so I didn't know what it was, to be honest. So
So
appreciate
it's the main ingredients are almond flour, powdered sugar, and egg whites. And we basically make meringue, and then so it's a meringue that is fortified and stabilized with almond flour.
Cool.
And so when you bite into them, they're super light, and they have a little bit of crispiness to the shell to the very outside, but then they're pretty light and airy on the inside. And then you hit the buttercream filling, which is actually where all the flavor is. So we do the shells in different colors. We have a bunch of food coloring that you use to change the color of the outside shell, but they're actually all a neutral flavor. The only difference is the color, and then all the flavoring comes from the inside, from the filling.
Neat, man. And that printing is just so cool. I love that. That's awesome.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, great. Thanks for the education. Sounds like an awesome business, and congratulates on all your success with it. How can I help you? How can Maker Pipe help you?
One of my warehouse workers, she was looking for some storage solutions because our warehouse is disorganized, is putting it kindly. And so we were talking about, we have a bunch of different things that we need to kind of get in line, from ingredients to a bunch of things for processes along the way. We have the end product all sorted out. That's actually a pretty good system. But the big thing we're doing is packing, and that is where Maker Pipe came into the conversation. We were inspired by one of your YouTube videos that we saw talking about how to make a packing station. I think it was a packing station you guys did for yourselves. And that seemed like a pretty elegant solution for a complex problem that we have, because we have a lot of boxes that are different sizes that we need to both grab things out of and put things into. And so the idea was that we were just going to get something off the shelf, or maybe have something kind of custom fabricated, but the cost of having something custom fabricated is absurd, even for my brother's a metal worker, and he'd do it for very inexpensive, but even so, like, it's still crazy expensive to have things welded, and just the amount of time that goes into that. And then once you make the decision to design it, you're kind of stuck with it. And that's the other thing that I liked about MakerPipe is like we can change our mind. We can kind of reconfigure things to match our changing business needs. And I'm no engineer, so I'm going to design this, but I'm not necessarily going to design it correctly. So being able to change things around a little bit and just buy a couple more pieces of pipe to fix changing needs is a pretty ideal situation for us.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm so glad you got in contact with us, and it's helped us in our business, and we've worked with other businesses where it does all those things. So, yeah, let's get to it. Any way I can help, I'm down to do that.
Yeah. So your coworker sent me a bunch of the minis, which have been very helpful, and I've kind of designed what we need, I think.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you can see that all right.
Yeah, I can see that. Great.
I've even created some little stand-in boxes.
Oh, cool.
So this would be about table height here, with space for people's knees to kind of fit underneath. And then we would put our boxes of packaging materials just top ripped open, maybe a little cutout here, so that people can reach in and grab out what they need. Rolls of packing tape and label. We have, let me show you here. So we have these big rolls of our labels that we'll put onto the backside here, and people can just pull off what they need and rip it off. And I think that's about it. I think that kind of sums it up there. Looking at this, what's your opinion on how much structure do we need? And is one vertical pipe here? What's the correct piping to make this out of? I know we can use PVC or is it electrical conduit? Is that the other one, main option?
Yeah, electrical conduit.
I was thinking that would probably be the best combination of cost versus strength. I would rather have fewer support beams that are stronger. I mean, I know that I could make this out of either, I think, but I think that I would have to have a lot more connections and a lot more strengthening pieces if I made it out of PVC.
Yeah, absolutely. And we designed our connectors to work with electrical conduit specifically for that reason. When you're building something like this, that's going to have the boxes and labels, you want it to be more rigid and not wobble. So yeah, electrical conduit all the way.
Have you guys done any strength tests as far as like how much strength something like this has? It's a vertical piece, but then it has some lateral forces from the balancing on top. Would I have to put a secondary support piece in there? A secondary vertical support piece, I should say.
Well, I mean, first off, yeah, I love your design. It's so cool to see how you made that with the minis and kind of prototype that. I imagine that was helpful, and it's awesome to see. So I also love that top section as, nice, easy point of view storage for your packers. That's very smart, because like whatever you guys design and modify, it's got to fit your process and help you guys do the work easier instead of being more difficult. So the design you have there, I think it's definitely going to support the weight you want it to. And the conduit's very strong. So I don't have any concerns except the one that you asked me about, because you have that angled shelf with one connector and one piece of conduit, which is fairly rigid, but that's going to be carrying all your weight too. So I think if we strengthen that up by maybe putting another vertical there, could be there. Yeah, that's a great spot just to give it some rigidity.
Right. And there is one more clamp that you guys have that is just kind of, it's, I guess, for lack of a better term, like an infinite clamp. Like you can twist it in any direction, correct?
Yeah. You've got it. If I go to the website, that's our adjustable angle, one of the new ones we got. And that would be perfect if you want to brace that, because all you have to do is brace that top section. The weight's going to be carried by that one pipe just fine, but just so it doesn't wave around. And I'm sure you could imagine a few different ways that you could brace it using that one. But Philip, would it be okay if I showed you a couple other things that I don't
Yeah,
know
by
if
all
you've
means.
seen? Like you were referring to this one, our custom workstation that we made for our packaging station here at the shop.
Hmm.
And like what you're looking at, you've got some point of use parts at the top and then some storage down below. Works great. And since then, we've customized it. We've done that sort of thing. And we've even built a second one that was, similar concept, but even better. So, that's going to be helpful for you guys moving forward. This is a packaging workstation for a machine shop up in northern part of the country. And they package machined parts, right? And a couple of things carryovers, or they had a few different box sizes, which they stored up top here. They had also a number of stickers, probably not as many as you, but they had these kind of L brackets, if you can see there, that were really good for storing stickers because it was like easy on, easy off. And there was a little collar at the end of that just to make sure they don't slide off. But with sticker rolls, it's always a thing of like, if the middle one runs out, you got to replace that. And it's got to work for you like that. So, and then they just had this back shelf and some storage underneath. So pretty similar to what you came up with. But one of the things to point out about that is, and we did it on ours, was kind of this two verticals, that supported the top section. And you see that like one just rested right on the tabletop right there. And that then one vertical. So it just gave it enough rigidity to support all that stuff.
Sure.
So you can definitely go forward with your storage. There's some other ones. This was different company that just had some point of use boxing and stuff, real simple tables that they did a good job with. But we have storage on the back side of ours. So we use that kind of double rack or double vertical to have storage on the back side, which isn't always a good thing, but we have some of our connectors and extra stock than what's right there at point of use. Like we'll have 2 or 3 boxes for the packer to replenish with on the back side of that as an option as well. But yeah, those are just some of the packaging stations that I had photos of and wanted to share to kind of give some ideas.
And then aside from building plans, what assembly tips and tricks can you tell me?
Yeah.
Or am I jumping the gun?
Oh no.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
I think your design is great, and you're with just that extra brace, you're ready to go. So, is this something you're going to be building with a team, a few people?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So when we build in our shop, you want to kind of identify one person who's the lead in your company, right? Because it's really handy when they can then build other things to kind of help out your operations as well. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. And you're going to need some basic tools. So because you're doing a larger project, and it'll save you money as far as assembly goes, you want these T-handle Allen wrenches, which are $10 each. They've got a ball end, and they just allow things to go together so much easier. It makes life a lot easier.
Even easier than having it connected to a drill?
It does. Now you could do a drill with a ball end bit, but there's you want some feel as far as when you're assembling them goes. I'd recommend that T-handle. But you can get like either a ratchet version. This is a ratchet version, or you can attach that to a power drill as well.
Okay, sure.
And then cutting, a couple different options. This is the
that's what I've used before.
And it does a great job. It'll take a little bit if you're doing a big project because you're hand cutting all the ones. When we go and do a big project, we'll use actually I'll show you on our YouTube. We did a review of this portable. Hi, I'm Dave. I like to make things. I'm so sick of hearing that. It comes on every single time. This portable bandsaw by Milwaukee.
How y'all doing?
We don't need to hear him very much either.
I guess I have a Sawzall too. Does that make a clean enough cut?
It doesn't. No. You want?
I figured as much. Yeah.
Yeah. You want a bandsaw like this job here. It's a good way to go. You could also use a chop saw with a different bit if you have one of those.
Yeah.
But something like this, if you're making one or more of these stations, is going to save your team and yourself a lot of time.
Mhm.
So I'd recommend this. I really like this tool. Anytime we're building in the shop, we're using this. But
Okay.
it is about $200 to pick that up.
I mean, any excuse I have to buy another tool is it's not a hard justification.
Right on.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. But yeah, other than that, just some a Sharpie and a tape measure is going to be all the tools you need. And then the approach that I take is I try to create the base first with the vertical. So in your case,
Sure.
I would get 4 of the vertical pipes, each of the corners,
Mhm.
loosely tighten the connectors onto the vertical pipe as a step 1, and then cut the crossbars and kind of put it all together, because you can get the connectors onto the pipe where they're still loose enough where you can put the pipe in and then tighten it down a little bit. It
Mhm.
makes assembly so much easier. And if you wanted some, step by steps, I'd be kind of happy to talk you through that as well.
Okay.
But yeah, and then you're going to want to make modifications to it once you get it built. Like you put a lot of thought into that, your process, but inevitably something comes up where you're like, if we only had a shelf here, right? And hopefully that comes from the people doing the work as well. They'll have ideas and they can kind of optimize it for themselves. And as much as you can get them involved with the process, they will feel empowered to maybe make those changes and make their job better and easier.
Yeah, I that's one of the core tenets of our business, is involving everybody in the process. The girl that brought this to me, I showed her the model, and she's like, "Oh, you made that?" And I was like, "No, you made this. Like, I just assembled it. It was totally your idea. Like, you get all the credit for this, because it is, we can continue on with the way we're doing things, but just having people that are inefficient every day. Whereas if we listen to them and hear what their problems are, we're able to make our process a lot more user-friendly and a lot more efficient."
Yeah, that's great lean manufacturing thinking for sure.
Cool.
How else can I be of help?
How do we go about? Do we just buy individual connectors? Do we kind of just make an assessment of what we think we need, and then go from there? Is there like a starter pack that has a bunch of them? What's the easiest way to order correctly?
Yeah, I think first step is just, now that you have the model, you're going to come up with what connectors you need. And we do have some starter packs. I think you'll probably be ordering a la carte.
Okay.
We have,
and there's no substantial price difference from the starter pack to ordering a la carte.
There's a little bit. Like we've got this one that has an assortment of a few different connectors that you might be able to utilize. Like a lot of people buy one of these, it'll tick a few of the boxes, and then they'll fill in the gaps. So this is a little bit of a discount on that kit. If you end up buying a lot of T connectors, like for that top rack, you might be able to combine it with one of these maker kits who has just T's. So that's some good stuff there. And then you see a lot of the accessories and everything down below, just fill in the gaps with that.
Cool.
And when you guys get really rocking and rolling with these designs, like say you make this first one and you've got to make 100 more.
I like what you're thinking, but that is not the position we're going to be in. Anytime soon.
Well,
maybe 2 more.
Yeah. Well, I hope your business seems to be growing, and I wish you guys all the success. But if we have a big order, shoot me a line. If I can price it for volume, I will.
Sure.
And work with you guys any way we can.
Cool. I think that answers my questions.
Yeah, and we're always here. I'm picking up the phone on a daily basis. So you call that number, you get us, you get me. So if you think of something, Philip, just pick up the phone, ask me, or shoot me an email, and I'm happy to help. Cool. Well, I appreciate your time today. Yeah. Thanks for the interest. Great luck with the packaging process and that station. And I think the Maker Pipe logo would fit great on a Macadon. Maybe I'll place a custom order one of these days. Just let me know. I'm sure we can work something out. Yeah. We'll see what we can do. No. All right. Yeah. But great talking with you, Philip. You too. Good luck with your project. Thank you. Take care.